If I can take 20 minutes a day to invest in myself and I can get through that program, that first day was going to be my hardest. Every day after that was going to be easier.
I really, really enjoyed being able to have somebody who was there for me all the time.
I was just like, had a come to Jesus moment. Like, I'm not going to be the mother that I want to be because I don't even want to take him to the park. So I knew I had to do something. I've lost about 80 pounds on beach ride.
With the program so far, 40 pounds, but I'm still going.
Day 1,561 today and lost a total of 212 and a half pounds.
Welcome to the V-Shred Better Body, Better Life podcast, where we help you live your best life while working on your health and fitness goals. We're here to make your journey fun and inspiring.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Better Body, Better Life podcast. Today, I'm your host, Vince Sant, and we have a very special episode today. We are gathered here today with three V-Shred clients who have insane testimonials, and so we're going to hear a little bit about their story and their journey, what they've been through, some of their struggles, some of their successes, and so I guess getting right into it, I'm going to have them each introduce themselves, starting over here.
Okay, my name is Nicole. I did the Fat Loss Extreme for women, and I started in March of 2020. Since then, I've lost about 80 pounds on V-Shred.
Damn.
My name is Lela, and it's very difficult for me to tell you exactly what I did because I did a couple different things, but the main results that I got were during the winter V-Shred challenge. So I lost, with the program so far, 40 pounds, but I'm still going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Conrad Bombardier. I started February 19th, 2020. Started with a Fat Loss Extreme, big arms, ripped in 90, all multiple times. Now my custom workout program, day 1,561 today and lost a total of 212 and a half pounds.
Wild.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I love that you know the day
Yes.
Yeah.
specifically.
a big day.
I like your YouTube channel, saying every single day. Like, it's been awesome to see. So I guess one of the biggest issues that people have when they're getting started are, I guess, cutting through the confusion of like what's right, what's wrong, who should they listen to. What are one of the biggest misconceptions that you guys heard that's required to get in shape before you started with V-Shred?
Cardio, that you needed a lot of cardio.
Yeah.
And no.
Were you doing cardio before then?
Heck no, I hate cardio.
Okay, so-
I hate cardio.
okay, yeah.
That was actually one of the things that I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this because there was no cardio. It's
Yeah.
just body weight. You're getting your heart rate up. But yeah, I'm not running on an elliptical.
So would you say that was like one of the reasons that you maybe didn't even start plans before because you thought you were going to have to do that?
Well, yeah, because I had done plenty of workout programs, gone to the gym, and that's what it always was just
Yeah.
being on like cardio machines, and I hated it. So
Yeah.
I didn't last very long with it because I'm like, this sucks. Who wants to do this?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that the same thing for you guys?
I actually really enjoy cardio.
Okay. Crazy. You got it.
Yes,
to know.
I'm insane. I don't like chocolate and I love cardio. But I truly do. I enjoy running. It's one of those things that I can just be me for a little
A
while.
little therapeutic
Yeah,
almost.
a little bit. And I love to dance, and there's a lot of cardio involved with that. But for me, it was the misconception of, in order to lose weight, you must cut as many calories as possible. And you know that it's dangerous at a certain amount, but what is
Right.
that amount? You know? So for me, learning that, no, you need to have at least 1,200 a day, that was a revelation for me. And I think it probably would be for a lot of women, especially because you see all these, these super thin models or other people who have gotten to a specific look. And a lot of it is, I'm eating salad or I'm eating this, and it's very calorie low.
Yeah.
And there's nothing
Very
wrong.
restrictive.
Yeah, very restrictive. So there's nothing wrong with eating high density calorie foods, you know, but it's just knowing where it's coming from and how much.
Yeah. So is that what you kind of did before? Because you were in really good shape before your children,
I was,
correct?
yes.
And so when you were first going through, let's say like after your first pregnancy, or did the first 3 pregnancies pretty back to back, correct?
Yes, yeah.
And so after those, did you try to go into that low calorie approach?
Yes, but I also knew at that point that it was not healthy
Yeah.
to cut, because I had been going to a different gym for a while and had talked a little bit of nutrition with people. So at that point, I knew that you should not do that,
Yeah.
But so luckily, I was saved from that. But especially in high school, where body image is just in the garbage. It's like, oh, I'm eating a cup of grapes and maybe a sandwich if I'm feeling cool. Like, I don't know. So not knowing how many calories it was, just knowing I don't want to eat that much.
Yeah.
And that can get super dangerous super fast.
And so I'm assuming getting on the V-Shred plan kind of showed you like, hey, you can eat real
Yeah.
food in a real amount
Yes.
and get results.
And I loved eating fruits. And so I loved eating healthy, but I was eating basically only fruits and vegetables.
Right, the wrong amounts of
Yeah,
certain
so I'm
things.
like, I'm
Yeah.
only getting my carbs and my sugar, and that's not good either. So
Yeah.
it was, V-Shred really helped me figure out where those calories should come from and how many of each.
Very cool. What about you?
So I never had done any workout programs previously in my life. I remember when my friend asked me if I wanted to play football, I just looked at him and asked him if it looked like I ran. I was not a runner. I was not about sports, but I was 6'3" and I was 325. And
You
the
can
coach-
block for me.
Yeah, that's what the coach wanted. I was on the team. But for me, any time that I had lost weight previously I was just thinking that it was high protein, low fat, not eating a lot. And then obviously I thought I had to spend 3 hours in the gym. And what I quickly found out was, number one, I had the meal plans. I had everything in front of me. All I had to do was follow along. It was very easy. The workout program, starting off at 20 minutes,
Yes.
kind of eased me right into that I knew that if I can take 20 minutes a day to invest in myself and I can get through that program, that first day was going to be my hardest. Every day after that was going to be easier. And what I found from being a very picky eater and not enjoying any other foods, and I didn't want to try them, I didn't want to be disappointed, the meal plans really changed my palate, what food did for me. And now I'm eating foods that I never have before, and they're my favorite. So
Name a couple. What are a couple of those?
Caesar salad, Brussels sprouts. I mean, the list will go on of things that my mom would probably think that she would never see me eat again since I was 3. So they've been definitely, I always have chicken and beef in the fridge, and the kids know that. So the meal plans are great, and you're able to pick everything that you want, the things that you like in moderation and really in portion to what your macros are for that day.
Yeah.
And that carb cycling for me is what really worked and has proven to work over and over.
Yeah. What would you say was your favorite part of all of them, of everything in the program? Maybe it was the carb cycling, maybe it was the quick workouts.
Number one, I think that the meal plans that were catered to me and very fast, I mean, that to be able to say, I don't really like this, but in almost an instant, you're getting, here's a replacement that you can still work that doesn't leave
Get
you
the
hanging or
adjustments
wondering.
that you need.
Exactly. Then after a while, now I kind of know what adjustments I can make or what are replacement foods if I don't have one thing that I have another. The workout programs for me, I think were really something that was surprising to myself because I had never followed one. I never did one. Gym was my worst subject in school. I dreaded. It's the only time I wore jogging pants. I mean, I just hated it. But to be able to see me graduate through the amount of programs, and it was like, all right, which one am I going to do next? And what am I going to go back to? And then when it's like, Adam goes, hey, I'm going to write you custom programs. And I went, man, I made it to a level where I'm having custom workout programs. It's pretty cool. So I think it's a full package. I don't have really one favorite. I think everything for me is my lifestyle, and I don't see that ever stopping.
That's awesome. What about you?
I agree. I really was able to get that through the challenge. They gave me an assigned coach, and she was helping me with custom workouts, and I had my custom meal plans. And again, just being able to reach out to her and say, this is not working, and she would immediately fix it. And that was a huge resource to have.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I really, really enjoyed being able to have somebody who was there for me all the time. And of course, I'm not going to be the only client, but you wouldn't know that because she was,
Nice. Okay, yeah.
because she was so attentive and wanted to make sure that I did the best that I could do.
Yeah.
So, the whole package, the package itself, you have your meal plan and if you can, a coach that can help you through it. But even if you don't, the follow along workouts are awesome. That's how I started with the Fat Loss Extreme. And I really enjoyed just being able to have, I mean, it's you know, just have somebody tell me this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it'll be fast. Here's the timer in the corner so you don't have to wonder when it's done, you know, and then having it switch up, but learning that, oh, it's okay to do the same thing, you know, for that really threw me off at first, where it was like, oh, this is the same as last week.
Thinking you have to always change it up.
But no, you keep it for a month so that your body gets, oh, okay, this
you get
is
stronger
fine.
at doing it.
Yeah, this is fine. And then you switch it up after it's started to hit that homeostasis, and then your body goes, wait, what? And you get to do it all over again. It's fun. It's just kind of, it's a cyclical process, but it doesn't get tiring. Yeah. So I like that about
That's
it.
cool. Anything that stuck out to you?
The
most?
workouts. Yeah, they were so easy to fit into my schedule, and I didn't need anything to do them. I didn't have to leave my house.
Yeah.
Just
So you
lock
never
my
been
kids
really
in a
gym
room.
person?
No.
See ya.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been a member of many gyms, but like, no, I'd go twice and then waste my money the rest of the time because I wouldn't go, because either I couldn't figure out childcare, or I actually had like a really bad thing that happened at a gym with my daughter being in the childcare. And so after that, it was like, I just never wanted to go back. So that was, to me, the easiest, the best part, because I did not like working out. I didn't like to get up off of the couch. So it was really easy to just ease into that because it was short. And again, with the timer, that's helpful to me, because otherwise I'm like, this is never going to end. I'm done.
You know exactly what you got left.
Absolutely. And I'm like, all right, I could do this.
Yeah.
And so it just got to a point of like pushing myself through it.
Yeah.
So
I also like with the timer in the corner, because if you are doing like a plank, right, and it's your first time doing a plank, for 30 seconds is like, nope, I can't do that, but I can go 10 seconds. And
then
so,
rest, and then 10.
and then 10 again.
Yeah.
So being able to make your own little micro goals
100%.
with that timer
Little
is really nice.
modifications to make it a little bit easier.
And I also
Agreed.
agree with, moms, that finding time to do it is just, I can't. I will never be able to do it. But with the short workouts that even, I mean, like the kids, depending on their ages, you can have them in there or you can't, but, but for the most part, they're not going to get in your way. You don't need weights. You don't have to worry about them playing with the weights. And so the follow along home workouts were a game changer for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go to the gym sometimes, correct?
Correct, I do now. So I started right from home. I think for the first 6 months, all my workouts from home. I didn't feel comfortable at first going to the gym. I already felt like everybody was always looking at me anyways.
Really?
And I did it right from the comfort of my own home. I started losing my weight. I had bought a home gym. Started incorporating big arms after I did the Fat Loss Extreme videos. So I knew I was ready for another level.
Nice.
And then once I started traveling for baseball, then I knew that I needed to join a gym and then take it on the road. I was doing the Fat Loss Extreme videos at the gym that were at the hotels. And then I started going. And that built my confidence up even more. Another highlight with doing so and just being, because I was so big, I was so overweight, I then see people in a gym that are struggling in the same manners, that are there. And I'll give them mad props for the fact of being able to go there from day one. So I actually will stop and talk to them and show them my progress photo and just let them know that, hey, what they're doing is great, and things do happen and they do work, and you can get results, and just keep that consistency to give them at least that little glimpse of additional hope, because I understand where they're at, what they're doing, and how hard that is, because not a lot of people who are at the gym will realize someone who's overweight that's showing up every day, it's taking 10 times a person who's already in shape being there.
I want to commend you, because showing up and being like, hey, sorry to bother you clearly very uncomfortable person, but here is something that made me very uncomfortable. Like, showing your progress photos to people, that's a big thing too. So props
Thank
to
you.
you for doing that.
Yeah. What was like your guys' aha moment that you guys wanted to make a change, or that you wanted to start with V-Shred? Maybe it wasn't even with V-Shred. What was like the moment in your life where you were like, okay, I have to do something like today? Was there a moment like that for each of you?
There was for me. It was a picture of myself holding my daughter from the back. And I was like, no, it was bad. And I was just like, I'm not going to.
When was that?
It was 2016.
2016.
2016.
Okay.
And so from then, I was just like, had a come to Jesus moment. Like, I'm not going to be the mother that I want to be because I don't even want to take him to the park. So I knew I had to do something. So that's when I started slow with counting calories. We met years later.
Yes, you said we started 2020, right?
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like this. We started.
Yeah, we.
Yeah. I've already made him really uncomfortable, so it's good.
I'm waiting for it to come out on this.
No, I'm not going to say it. Nope.
I'm pretty sure that anybody watching would be like, yeah, we get it. We know.
Probably. Whatever. He's not beat red or anything.
Anyway, I think for me, it was, so I had never been overweight before. And then I got married at my smallest, and almost immediately my husband and I started our family. And so I gained about 30 pounds with each child. And even after the first child, I was like, well, that's not cool. I want to lose the weight. But while I was breastfeeding, my body was like, no, all of those calories are for that baby, and how dare you? And so I could not do that. And then I got pregnant again almost right after that. My first two children are exactly 22 months apart. And then the next two,
Like same birthday?
yeah, the 13th of
Really?
the month. Yeah.
Wow.
And then,
No way.
yeah. And then the other boy, I have 3 boys and 1 girl. So the other boy came like 18 months after the second boy. And so it's one right after the other. And I could not lose any weight in between. So it's not like I had a moment that I was like, oh no, I had been trying and trying and trying. So for me, the moment was, I need V-Shred. That was my moment. Not I
So you
have
thought
to do
I
something,
need
but-
V-Shred. It's not
Yes.
like an ad that hit you with. So you had heard of us before.
You're everywhere, to be fair.
We got a lot of ads. We got a lot of ads.
Yeah. So I use Facebook a lot because that's how I keep up with a lot of different people
Yeah.
from all over, because
Yeah.
I worked all over the country. And so I used Facebook a lot, and that I would get ads for V-Shred. But the thing that really sold me on it was there was a bundle being sold with the custom meal plan. And for me, having done modeling and acting in the past, I knew, well, A-listers, the only way they can get in shape so quickly for films is having a coach create those custom plans for them. And I knew as a mother of very young children, I can't do that. I don't have the time to do that. And so that was I need this program. And so that was my moment, is seeing that ad and talking to my husband, and my husband's the biggest cheerleader, and he was just like, well, yeah, if you want to do this, then I'm going to support you, and you do that and you're going to do great. And so the biggest difference was the fact that it was a custom meal plan made for me by someone else, but that I could talk to that person. I feel like with a couple of the other weight loss programs, it was more, yeah, you put in your information and we'll make you a plan, and that's it.
See ya.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, but this one also came with the Fat Loss Extreme program, right? So if I bought the meal plan, then I would also have workout plans that I could do at home 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And so that the bundle of it, I suppose, was the real seller for me.
Okay.
And so that's how I did that. Because I had, after my third son, I had gotten a job at a gym doing the childcare, actually, at that gym. And so I had free reign of the gym.
Nice.
So I was able to get down to the same weight.
So were you doing gym workouts then? At that time?
Yeah, but no, I didn't have a program
Like
to follow.
right,
Yeah, I was
recommended?
just doing my own thing.
Gotcha.
And I had a trainer just before COVID hit.
Okay.
That I would work with through the gym.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the gym shut down. And so I went back to being mom all the time with no, I didn't have a home workout that I could follow. I didn't have weights at home. There's nothing I could do. And we couldn't even go on walks because the world was broken.
Yeah.
So
It was wild there for a little bit.
yeah. So I think everybody struggled at that time. But for me, I put on a little bit more weight, not a lot, really fast. What really happened to have me gain more weight again that really made me want to get a weight loss program was I had an ectopic pregnancy, which was a horrible, awful experience. And I hope it never happens to anybody listening. But that after that emergency, the recovery time needed for that ended up with weight on top of the weight that my body was already putting on because, you're pregnant, even though nothing would come of it. And then I got pregnant with my daughter. So I had gotten down to
back to back.
Yeah. So I had gotten down to my post first pregnancy weight on my own.
Okay.
But then after that, I had gained not as much back, but close. So especially after my daughter was born, because there's another 30 pounds. I don't know what my body is. I don't know what that deal is, but it was like exactly 30 pounds each pregnancy. I'm not sure what that was. But to be fair, each child was
Consistent.
each child was also born on the 13th of the month, except for one. And the only reason he wasn't was because they made him come sooner.
Someone's getting a Friday the 13th birthday.
They've got
couple
some,
of them?
yeah. And one of them's October. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's gonna be fun. But anyway, so that was for me. It was while I was pregnant with my daughter. I was like, nope, I'm not doing this again. I'm not getting back up to that weight.
Yeah.
And I knew that with that customizable plan
Yeah.
and somebody making it for me, I could say, I'm pregnant. You can't just throw a plan at me.
Right.
You have to work with me.
Yeah.
So that was the kicker for me.
And I've obviously never been pregnant, but
Oh, you haven't?
you get cravings, right? So how did you manage those during?
During a plan?
Yeah.
The only craving I ever really got was for a good bone broth.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty good craving
yeah,
to have.
I know, yeah. Like
Fortunate.
Yes. Every once in a while I'd be like, you know what? I deserve ice cream and I will eat my ice cream.
Yeah.
But other than that, not really. I was very fortunate. I honestly think if your body is giving you a craving, it's a signal that you need something. You're deficient in something.
100%.
So not necessarily follow the craving, but at least figure out what
Acknowledge
it is.
it.
Yeah, acknowledge it. Find
Right.
the healthy
Right.
way to do that.
Is it serious? How bad of a craving is
Yes.
it? Why is it? Did you eat recently or have you not eaten for 6 hours? Because then it's probably real. Yeah. How about you? Any defining moment?
Yeah. The one for me that really defined the last lifestyle change was early 2019. I had knee issues, and I went in. My mom let me know she wouldn't leave unless I went to the doctor. So I went in to get checked out. And the moment was putting me on a regular scale and finding out that I couldn't get weight on the regular scale, that they brought me over to a floor scale. That was really hard for me to realize that now I've outgrown a scale. I knew that I needed to start changing things. I let it stew. I then thought to myself I could end up on TV on my 500, 600 pound life. I needed to do something. I have these two boys that, one is going to be getting ready to go to college at that time to go and play baseball. And my kids are in sports and I'm pushing them and wanting them to be the best versions of themselves and healthy, yet I'm not setting an example. And I wanted to be around. So I knew that I needed to change something on my own or else I wouldn't be around for them. I look back at the times when I was heavier after I lost the weight, that I even apologized to the kids for the fact that I wanted them to realize that the days when we were at the baseball field and I was angry because we were on our way back to the car and Dad was sweating and angry because nobody was helping with stuff and I had a wagon and I had everything, that I needed them to understand that I was never mad at them. I was mad at me for letting myself go, that I was taking it out on the ones around me. And that was a realization in life that I was on the right page of what I was doing. Those boys is what motivated me to be able to be the person that I am today. And with this program, I'm set for life.
Yeah.
So,
and that brings up another question. What would you say your why is? Is it them?
yeah, my why is definitely number one. I have to take myself into account because I want to be here for them, but I want to set that example for them. I want them to know that the biggest tool that I can give you as a dad is you can set whatever you want in life. You just set your mind to it. You can achieve your goal. Nobody can tell you no. Go ahead and get it done. So for me, I didn't want to just tell them what they needed to do. I then wanted to show them. So that was a blessing for me, and that was definitely my drive. Even when I first started the Fat Loss Extreme, I remember I didn't want anybody looking at me, but I remember Ethan would come down and watch me do my workouts. And that was tough at first because I was like, just leave me alone. I'm doing my workout. I don't want to be here right now. And I had bought these oxygen containers that I saw in Shark Tank. And he was like, Dad, take some of these. And I'm like, leave me alone. I don't need it. And I tried it and it made me feel better. But I was like, all right, well, this is pretty good. But what I took out of that was...
It was like the snowboarding ones?
It was exactly it. The can you just sprayed it. And I was like, seriously, kid, I guess I'm going to get you some of these cans I bought. But what I realized and took out of that was he was there to help motivate me. And what he didn't realize is that he was motivating me. And he was watching me and my oldest son, who was in his room, even though he didn't say anything to me. When I was done my workout, he goes, how was it, Dad? And I said, it was hard, but it was good. It was better than yesterday, and we're going to move to tomorrow. And they never thought that I would get the progress to where I am today. And I asked them that question, did you ever think that Dad was going to lose 212 pounds? And their first reaction was no. But then, Dad, we saw the determination on your face, and we knew it. And that's
badass.
That gives me goosebumps to today. Like, those were the moments.
Amazing.
Yeah. Supportive children, like, really and truly, when you hear, oh yeah, I do it for my kids, I think a lot of people think that's like a cop-out answer, but it's so true.
Yeah.
It's probably the people that don't have kids.
Probably.
Like me.
I know my kids definitely acknowledge it. Like, even when I would kick them out and just shut myself in the room, to be like a little knock.
Right.
Mom, are you doing okay? I'm like, I'm on my date with Vince. Be out in a 2. But they would tell me like how proud they were of me, and they're like, oh, you're so sweaty. Like they would always have a comment about it. And even now my son's older and he's just like, Mom, you're so gorgeous, but you gotta, And I was like, okay. But it's cute. Like, they're always trying to just, like, keep me going. So
that is very sweet.
it is very important.
I love my 2-year-old, my daughter. So she's 2 now, and she'll come in and she'll have, because I've gotten weights for home, and there are little 3-pounders, and she'll see me working out, and she'll pick up a little 3-pounder and go, ee.
Oh, mine would do that too.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
And
adorable.
But like she'll grunt because she hears Mom grunt when she picks. So like I've got my super
getting her
heavy
breathing
weight.
down.
Yeah, she does. She'll go before she picks something up. It's really cute. And then the 6-year-old will come in, and if I'm doing mountain climbers, he's like, I love mountain climbers, and he'll be like, I got this, and I'm like, shh. Yes, you do. They're
so
not
cute.
real mountain climbers, but they are very good. Good job.
My daughter will work out with me. My son won't. He'll just walk by and he'll like
No?
see what's he'll walk by and he'll see what's
He's too
going
cool?
on. And he walks back and he's like, you good? And I'm like, yeah. He just keeps
I feel like
going.
the boys are always too cool. That's what it is. I could be wrong, though. I have no idea.
No, he thinks he is. He thinks he's
Until
like
they get
17.
older, then they realize that your program is doing something. Then now mine
Yeah.
will do my workouts.
Yeah.
And that impresses me. And then they're sore longer than Dad, which gives me props. That I'm like, all right, I'm in better shape. We'll be all right with
And
that.
I heard, I forget who it was. I think 2 of you were saying that you kind of compete with your children
Kids.
now. And tell me a little bit about that. I know you for sure have.
Yeah.
With your boys, right?
Oh, yeah.
I compare myself definitely with my kids, and will definitely. My oldest knows that he still has me in the gym, and I'm okay with that. My youngest, I still have an advantage as long as he doesn't outgrow me in
For
the
another
gym.
year or
but
2.
Absolutely. But definitely that highlight, even to your point, they don't want to be with, their parents, or as they get older, to have a 20-year-old and 18-year-old asking you without you having to ask if they can go to the gym with you today. There's no other better feeling than that. Or now when they're coming to your home and they're like, hey, I know you got chicken, I know you got rice, I know you got beef, I know you got something healthy.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat what you're going to have tonight. Or it started with, hey, what do you want for dinner? Well, what are you having today? Let me look at my meal plan. Let me tell you what I'm having. I'm going to have that too.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And that's what the nice progression of making their own meals and them doing their own thing, that now they're getting to do that with me. Again, I'm winning. I mean, I won already, but now I keep on winning every day with these guys.
That's
so.
awesome.
That's fantastic.
And so how much of this would you guys associate, like, or I guess what would you say the importance of like that community aspect is for like getting in shape? Because I know like earlier in the videos that we were filming that you guys might see someday, we were talking a lot about like the Facebook groups, having the coach, having your supportive, your kids being supportive, or your husbands or your wives, or how much of a role does that play in your guys' personal journeys, or how much did it play in the role?
It didn't play much for me at
No?
all. No. I'm pretty much to myself, like most of the time anyway. So I've always been like that, just kind of self-sufficient.
Yeah.
It's almost like I don't even really know how to have that community. I don't know. It's just weird for me. But
Well, that's interesting, because I think most people probably would say the community's huge, but then there's also the people that don't necessarily relate to that, like
and
yourself.
I think
that
I don't.
would
I'm like
love
under a
hearing
rock
this.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So for me, it's like, it's nice that I can motivate people, but I don't feel like I get that same thing in return just because I'm not, I don't know. I'm just weird, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. So yes and no. Like I like having people that I can share with. But
Yeah.
as far as like getting it back, no, not really. But it is important that my kids are on the same page. Before I got divorced, actually, my ex-husband was like getting on the same page, and that was great. And then I kind of took off and I was getting attention, and it was just like he just stopped. And that was frustrating. And so when he stopped, it was like, well, okay. You know what I mean? And everything just kind of fell apart from there. So I think if you have like in your home, you have that motivation and that support. To me, that's more important than having it from outside people.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I agree about the importance for sure. I enjoy having access to the Facebook group. I enjoy having a supportive coach. I don't think it would be necessary per se, but it was definitely helpful. And I do know that for a lot of, I know for a lot of women, especially, having that community that they can go to when they feel like they have nobody else there. It's really sad to have seen quite a few posts from people saying they don't have a supportive spouse or supportive children.
And not supportive. Some of them were like,
yeah, like, what
it.
are you doing?
Yeah.
And how dare you spend money on this? Yeah. So, and that to me is heartbreaking because, like I said, my husband he is my biggest cheerleader, and my kids are very supportive. But so if it hadn't been for my husband being supportive from the beginning, even in his moment of, are you sure? It was not really,
Right.
It was,
wasn't a negative
are you sure?
connotation
Yeah.
behind
Just
it.
making sure that it wasn't a gut thing from me.
Yeah.
And so without that home, support, I don't know how possible it is. You need to have backup, because if you're just in your own head, especially if you know that you need to make a change at that point in your life, it's not positive thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
And so you need to bounce it off of somebody else. And for some people, it is the Facebook group that becomes available with the program. For me, it was really nice because at the start, they were supportive of me and my decision, but it's not like they wanted to know the ins and outs of it.
Right.
First of all, my kids don't care. The eldest is 10. And my husband was not interested in being part of the program. For him, the idea of following somebody else's instructions is like, nope, I'm not going to do
He's a
that.
guy's guy.
But he was supportive of me. But it was good to have the Facebook group to be able to bounce ideas off of, to see what other people were doing. And it was inspiring to see other people's posts, there are a lot of people who...
Some of those posts are so crazy.
Yeah.
And open and honest and just vulnerable. Like you were talking about the vulnerability earlier. It's wild.
Yeah, it is. And they'll get up at the beginning of their journey sometimes and say, the rest of you inspired me. Here's my accountability photo. And I'm expecting to hold myself accountable and get a result like the rest of you. You know, like there are people in all walks of life from all sorts of different places. And there's a lot of sharing of various things, not just here's my before and after, but here's a recipe that I love. Here's something from my meal plan that I think everybody would enjoy. And it's not like the company's going to be like, how dare you share a recipe from our program, you know, like, so that's been nice too, you know, and because I worked for a big company that I worked for a mouse, and they are not like that. So
Really?
yeah, you can't just be like, oh, here's this thing that you gave me and I would like to share a tiny part of it. Nope. No. So it was nice to have a large company with a big presence be like, yeah, of course, people should get healthy. I loved that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. We want everybody to win.
Yeah.
And that's all it comes down to.
It's a breath of fresh air in this world.
For me, my the support, the Facebook group was probably the first thing that really helped me out, being in a community where everybody had the same common goal. Everyone was there wanting to better themselves in their life and start a program, and you could feel the excitement. You could feel everyone. It was very positive. Everyone was cheering everybody on. For me, starting my program right before COVID hit, it's not like you were out in public. It's not like you were everywhere being able to share it. I wasn't posting anything online at that time. For me, it was my own journey. But I had that Facebook group. I had my kids. I had the ones around me. But that Facebook group really was where I could share my progress, other than just add them every week, and being able to get some feedback. That was one of the first times when it was funny, as I would post some milestone events or where I was, that you could tell the community would recognize you. One guy would be like, hey, look, Conrad, I got a new phone, you know? And with
cool.
that,
That's
I would
cool.
have people that reached out from that group personally through Facebook Messenger just to congratulate me on my progress, or people that would share their story and say, hey, I've been following you since you first started posting, and I want to let you know that you've inspired me with my journey, and here's what I've done. And they wanted to share just privately. And I can't tell you how many messages that I've got like that. And that's what was super cool and really prompted, after I gained kind of my overall weight loss of that 212, to then have the inspiration to start my channel, at least, and be able to share with people just who I am and be more vulnerable, and getting out in public and seeing people who, number one, never even recognized you. It was really funny to show up to baseball games, and guys, you get to see people, and I would go back to my family and around and go, yeah, that person didn't recognize me.
Wow.
And it was really funny. I'll never forget the game in Rosemount. There was one of the baseball dads that we played travel ball with for years. He was talking with somebody. I walked over, and I said, hey, I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to say hi. Shook his hand, and I walked away, and I just saw the look in his face. And I went and sat down. I go, he had no clue who I was at the end of the game.
What a cool feeling.
Very cool feeling. It's when I started laughing or talking, then they got it. But after the game, I went to go use the porta potty after the baseball game, and he happened to come out, and I was like, hey, have a great day. He took about 8 steps, and then he turned around and he said, I'm sorry. He goes, do I know you?
Wow.
And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm really, like he doesn't even recognize me. I go, yeah, it's Conrad. I'm like, Ethan's dad. He goes, oh my gosh, what? I am so sorry.
Wow.
I was like, it's totally fine. But those were the moments that was super cool, coming back out and being able to see people and them just being amazed, or funny when you see they didn't recognize you, but then being able to share your story and then inspiring and motivating them into what you can do. Here's the tools, reach out to Adam. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, Adam, send me your link again. And I would just copy and paste and really send it and say, here, this really works. And that's what was refreshing for others too, is that they see someone that they know that's now advertising or sharing right all over my Facebook and my channel of something that does work, and sharing my struggles and sharing my successes, that they get it, they understand it, and now they're doing it for themselves. And that's super cool. So you kind of grow that community more and more around you as you kind of share and get to talk to them. And it's great. It's rewarding. It's fun. But I never thought that I would be one to have that. Still getting used to it.
That's cool.
But it's really cool when you know that you're helping someone.
Yeah. So there's people probably on the program right now because of you.
Yeah, I know there is. Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's really cool. A lot of times they'll start like a New Year's, like a program for New Year's. Or they'll try to get in shape for the summer, right? Or maybe it's middle of February, whenever. But they start a plan, and then what ends up happening is 2-3 weeks down the road, they quit. And so what was it about, not even about the V-Shred plan, what was it in you guys that made you go 2 weeks, 3 weeks deep when maybe it starts getting a little tougher, maybe you're not getting the results that you want, but you did it anyways? Why?
Putting those check marks on the workouts, that progression, tracking, knowing that I was seeing progress myself, and at least if I didn't see it right away in the mirror or immediately on the scale, that I knew that those check marks were being made and I was doing my due diligence that day of a plan to make my life better. So that's what really pushed me and motivated me. Then when I saw a difference, I saw the scale dropping. I think the first 2 weeks were 16 pounds had lost. And then after that, I was on average.
Wow.
I was averaging 2 to 3 pounds a week.
Wow.
As long as I stayed on the plan, I could count on one hand how many times I actually just stayed flat or did not lose. And that was motivating on its own. But then seeing my boys, seeing the workouts getting easier, that was another big push. That was easy for me because what I couldn't do at first, I could do in the 3rd week or in the 4th week, or that progression, or my push-ups, going from doing them on my knees, which, you're like, hey, do them on your knees if you need to. You did in your videos. And I was like, hey, if Vince is doing it, I'm cool. I'm going to do this too. And it was about moving and then going like, okay, I can do this at a 45 degree on a bench that I had in the basement. And then I started doing regular push-ups. And then I started doing diamond push-ups. And to be able to, show up here at the gym and then doing the pull-up for my first time, the last time, like those were all moments for me that it was like, look at this. Those small successes are what pushed me and motivated me to just continue to keep on going and now find what is my next goal. So being a 3-month program, I couldn't wait for that to get completed. One more notch. What's the next program? And then just hit that next milestone.
On those weeks that you didn't really progress, what did you tell yourself?
Adam, number one, told me that it was okay. And for me, I just knew that I was still on track. I was following the meal plan. My body is just getting used to it. It's going to be fine. There's a lot of different factors. And as long as I'm moving in a forward manner, it'll continue to pay off one way or another. Even if it's not on a scale, I'll see it in. I remember getting so excited just running up the stairs. I was like, man, I can't tell you the last time I ran up the stairs. And then I started running everywhere. And then my kids are like, Conrad, Dad, stop running. Like I remember running to Target. They're like,
a little kid.
You don't need to run anywhere. And I looked at the boys and I said, guys,
time me.
I have, for real. I was like, boys, I have not been able to run for like 20 years. I am running everywhere. So it was those things where it was like, hey, I could do this. Hey, I can do this. And getting to share that with somebody, that keeps it going. Getting to email your trainer every week and say, here's my success for the week, or here's where maybe I struggled. Like, what do you think? That's really rewarding.
That's very cool.
That is really cool. I think for me, because I bought into the program while pregnant, and so after I gave birth, I was like, okay, I can't really follow this right now, So for me, I stayed true to one or two of the things, right? So like with the workouts, during my pregnancy, I'd stick to it just because I knew I needed to move anyway, because I was pregnant. I wanted to make sure that I was healthy and the baby was healthy as much as that was possible. But what really kept me true to the program wasn't until after I was part of the challenge. And it was the challenge part of it, like this is a competition. And I knew that that's one of the reasons I did it. When I saw that there was a winter shred challenge, I was like, I can do this. It was not the consistency that I was concerned about, because if I knew that the way I tick is if I have a competition, that is another way for me to become accountable. And so if I am buying a competition, I'm going to stay in the competition. Yeah. And so that was what did it for me personally. That kept me going past those 2 weeks of, oh, this is a lot harder, and oh, this isn't as fun. But then it's fine because look at the results in my trainer. that was assigned for the challenge was like, yeah, you've got this. Of course you do.
Yeah.
And taking the progress, people are going to hate hearing this, but taking the progress photos, right? If you are really following it, you will see progress, but you have to take the photos. So,
because you don't want to in the beginning.
No.
Right? You don't want to be in a picture. You don't want to be vulnerable, especially with clothes off.
Right. And you don't have to share it. It can just be for you.
Right.
And I have a family member who bought into it, had no idea that I was part of it.
They didn't know.
No, they had no idea.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No.
Oh.
And then they were talking to my mother, and my mother
Is this who we just filmed the
it.
video of Aunt Bonnie?
Yeah. So my mother mentioned it. It's her twin sister. My mom and she are twins. And so she was talking to her about, I bought this thing, and I don't know what to start or whatever. And she was like, you know that Lela just like won a competition?
I did not know that part of it. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And so I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, can she talk to you? I was like, yes, Aunt Bonnie can
That's
talk
awesome.
to me about this. And so for her, I was like, please take the photo. She goes, I don't want to, and I was like, please, Aunt Bonnie, you have to take the photo. And she was like, okay, but can I like archive it? And I was like, I don't care.
Of course, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, do whatever
Right.
you need to, but have it so that when you take a photo, when you feel like this isn't working, I can't do this, you take another progress photo before you decide, nope, I'm not doing it anymore.
Compare.
Just compare it. And then when you have that comparison, you go, oh, I'm still going, because you can see it. It's right there. And for me with the challenge, I was supposed to take a progress photo every single week, and I could see every single week that there were improvements.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the challenge for me, that was.
And what date did the challenge start?
It was I believe it was the 1st of November.
Of November.
Yeah.
Which is wild because that means you went through
Thanksgiving
all
and
of the
Christmas,
holidays while on the plane.
It's true. And it was okay. I think it actually made it easier for me personally because I knew that if we got to the holidays, as long as I was aware, I was going to be fine.
That's great.
Yeah. So I didn't stick to the plan 100% because I would not be able to.
Yeah.
It's a holiday and I'm going to celebrate it with my family.
100%.
So I think that was also motivating to other people when I shared that. It's like, of course, I did this over winter.
You don't have to be rigid with it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's and it's not sustainable to be rigid with it. But if you want to be rigid for those 3 months.
If you have that, if you got that in you,
then do it.
More power to you.
But how rigid are you going to stay for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
So if you can have that rigidity most of the time and then give yourself the grace of, today I'm going to go off plan. I'm going to be aware of what I'm eating but I'm going to go off plan and I'm going to enjoy it. And that is sustainable.
Yeah.
That is a lifestyle change. And that's what you have always touted this to be, is the lifestyle change, not do what we say or else.
Right.
It's here's what we need you to learn about food, about fitness. Now apply it.
Yep. I wish we didn't call it diets, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
it's nutrition.
By definition, a diet is meant to be stopped.
Yeah.
Like you're meant to follow it for a specific amount of time and then stop following it. But what about you?
So my salon closed for COVID, and it was closed from March until June. When I came back in June, all of my clients came in, and they had all gained weight. And I was like, and everyone was like, oh, my God. And I was like, that's right. So, but since everyone had noticed, that was my accountability, because I'm like, well, I can't go back now because then they're going to come in and they're going to be like, I had to be, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise I look stupid, and I try not to look stupid. So, but that really did it for me. And then I'm like, V-Stride, you got to try it. So like, I was of course telling everybody about it too, but that's really what did it, was just seeing.
So it was a little community.
It was. And I guess I just didn't think about it until I just said it, because it wasn't like a Facebook thing. I'm not like really big on social media, but
that's the thing is some people don't even have Facebook pages.
Yeah.
And we're like, you don't have to join
I try to
this.
avoid it.
It's just surround yourself with people that help you identify as the person.
And it was definitely my clients.
That's cool.
So, and they're still following my journey and everything.
That's cool.
So it's good. Yeah.
Is there anything that happened throughout the journey that were like made it tough, or a wall you hit, or a specific obstacle that you had to overcome? And be transparent, because like it happens no matter how good the plan is, you're gonna hit a plateau. You're gonna struggle at some point. And so what was that, and how did you get through it?
Well, when I got divorced, and then shortly after that, I also had an ectopic pregnancy, and I had to have emergency surgery.
That's ironic.
It's weird.
I wouldn't call it ironic. I'd say that's very sad.
Well, sad,
Yeah.
but ironic that two.
The only two.
But it was
women
like
here.
very, very close together too. So I mean, I almost died, and then I was having it was emergency. It was crazy.
Me too.
Wow.
So that, and then just everything with my family just falling apart and trying to figure out how we're just going to put everything back together. It was taking everything in me just to keep my head above water and not, just give up on life. So once I finally got myself back to a good place from that, which, I mean, it took a little while, but again, I couldn't let my kids see me just give up either.
Yeah.
So, and I know they're watching, so they pay attention to everything I do. So it's kind of like life sucks sometimes. You got to just get back
Wear a
up and
hard
just
hat.
keep on, basically.
No,
I know it's a story of my life, man. So I'm like, you just have to keep going. And I want them to know that. And so that's why I just had to pull myself through it. It was not easy.
That's a tough one. But I'm assuming similar.
Well, the ectopic for me happened before I was on the program.
Oh.
And so that wasn't an issue for me for the program.
During it, right.
I suppose the experience of I could have died,
That's wild.
That's always, I should have died.
That's crazy.
My body did an incredible thing and clotted the internal bleeding. The doctors didn't believe that anything was wrong because my body had stabilized all of my stuff. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah.
I did not.
So so I should be dead
Crazy.
by all accounts because they did not believe me. I had to make them do tests in order to find it. So emergency surgery once they finally believed me. But that's a different story. And so for me, the wall is actually now. After the challenge, at the end of the challenge, I had gotten back down to my post first baby weight. And I, since then, have been able to lose 2 pounds more, but it's still fluctuating. I still am about that same weight. And it's been months. That was the end of January. And it is now May, almost June, So for me, it's been like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But progress photos. I took the last photo from the challenge, and I took a progress photo, a batch of them, about 3 weeks ago now.
Okay.
And I was like, I have to do
End
this.
of the challenge was
End of January.
end of January. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, end of January. And so I looked at those photos, and I was like, okay, I'm not losing weight anymore. However, look at all of the changes in my composition, so it's not as drastic, right?
Yeah.
It was 3 months later. That's what I did. So it was the 90 days for the challenge. And then 90 days after that, still the same weight. I was like, I'll take these photos. And I actually posted it to the ladies' Facebook group. Like, look,
That's great.
Yeah, it was super frustrating to me because it was such a huge difference with the first 3 months.
Yeah.
And I knew that I would eventually hit a plateau. That's just how it works. But I didn't expect it to be this long of one.
Yeah.
And so, and things have changed when I'm not in a challenge, right? It's not as easy for me to be like, no, I have to stick with it as much as possible. I still stick to it most of the time, but I'm not as faithful
live life
to
a
it.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm mom,
Right. I mean, I'm always an 80-20 kind of guy.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So, anyway, it's been my hurdle right now. I'm going through it. So for me to keep going, it's just knowing that it will change, and it has changed.
It sounds like it's just mainly the weight that's the plateau.
Yeah, mostly.
And
So
you're still seeing because like my mom's actually currently going through that as well. She's doing our accelerator program.
Okay.
And she just started, like she did move like 12 times, but then she just started this one because she wanted to work with a coach. and she lost like 12 pounds in the first month, which was awesome.
Right.
The whole second month, she lost 2 pounds, and she's like a little frustrated, but she's like still sticking with it because she's like, I feel stronger, I have more energy. In the mirror, I'm looking way different, but my weight's not going down.
Right.
And I'm like, that
That's
can be normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so you don't want to, especially for women, the weight number is kind of a little bit superfluous at a certain point.
Yeah.
Because we fluctuate with our cycles all the time.
Right.
You know, based on our hormones.
Water retention.
Yeah.
Stress.
So you can't really obsess over the number anyway. For me, it's just like, well, you know, I'm stuck here for the most part, but I knew that I was still getting stronger.
Yeah.
I was at the gym because
the thigh muscle.
Yeah. I had a thigh muscle through my legging, and I was like, yeah, buddy, that's mine. Yeah, I did that. I built that. That's my thigh. But yeah, that was weird to me, but amazing, right? I was like, look at that. I did that. And I'd never, even in my, you know, my athletic model build, I would never have been able to see definition of a thigh through a thick legging, but I can now. And I didn't after the 3 months of the challenge. So differences are still happening. So I guess I'm working through my challenge. There was a moment of revelation where I was like, I am comfortable enough that I'm going to get a face cam. I do online content, I stream.
Yeah.
And I had always said, I will never do it. I will never be comfortable with how I look. So I'll never get a face cam. But I got one about halfway through, and it's really helped my community feel like they know me because I speak a lot with my face. I don't know if people have noticed, but my voice might sound one way, but my face tells you how I'm actually feeling.
Yeah.
And so when I'm gaming or something like that, you know, and I say something, people have to try and figure out what I mean. But now I have my face cam.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Thanks. But that was a huge thing for me because I had always told them, it will never happen. I will not do it. And I finally got to the point where I was like, I can do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
For me, during my transformation, I'm 100% all in. I had no cheat days. I weighed everything. I was 100%
That is
psycho
impressive.
with it.
There was absolutely,
Good
because
for you.
I wanted zero excuse that I was going to mess up any progress. I had nothing to blame.
Right. If it wasn't going to work, it
100%
wasn't going to
into
be
the
you.
system,
Right.
and if I was going to test the system out.
Yeah.
And it worked. Where I hit my first kind of little bit of a struggle, I had not missed a workout day, anything until this last December. And
Wow.
I ended up.
Oh my God.
That's
wild.
Years.
That's wild.
Goodness.
Yeah, I ended up getting sick. I broke out in hives everywhere, and I had never had that since I was 10.
Your body's screaming, I need the gym.
Well, and I'm like, I can't go to the gym looking like that because I already wiped down my equipment now, and people are not going to want to use anything I sit on. I'm like, I cannot go out in welts everywhere on my body. So it took 2 weeks with the doctor to find out what it was, and ended up being a mattress pad cover. Out of all things.
Really?
I was cutting out eggs. I was crying about my diet. I
Oh,
was
you
like,
were
am I
doing-
going to change my
wow.
whole meal plan? This is not going
Wow.
to be good. A mattress pad cover, we got to figure it out. But with that, my immune system being low, somebody at work had influenza B. I got it. And I had never been sick in 3 years, knock on wood. So that took me out of the gym for a month. That was my biggest struggle from going years of not missing a workout day. I had my rest day, you know.
Right.
I counted those in.
Right.
But if it was Christmas, it didn't matter what it was. I was at the gym. I was finding or driving to a gym that was open. I was getting it in. And a month of not working out was a mental struggle for me. And I was talking to my chiropractor about it, and she's like, I get it. She's like, Conrad, you got to take your time.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you heal yourself.
You
and
do.
then when I went back, it was, you're going to have to do half reps, half weight. And I'm going, my notepad that I keep on my phone or where I'm at, like I'm going to have to reset this.
Yeah.
And she says, it's going to be all right. But if you don't, I have a client that just did the same thing as you and hurt themselves, and you're going to be out for another 3 months. And I said, okay. So I just finished pushing through the hardest time for me, which is a month of not working out, of keeping my workout streak alive. And what am I going to do? So I had gained a little bit of weight through that month. I still ate my meal plan, but I wasn't working out.
Right.
So that changed my whole body. So now I'm like, hey, I know what to do. I slowly continued to get back up to my weights and my reps. Now I'm back in the gym for my
Nice,
amount of times
nice.
and follow my programs, and I'm getting right back to where I was, and everything's dropping. So that was a moment where I thought, hey, this could be a point where you go, hey, I'm fine. I already lost 212. I can just leave it and do it in my own head and be okay. And I'll just go to the gym sometimes. But then it's just like, no, I want to make sure that this was my lifestyle. I'm not going to change that. I love how I feel. So let's continuously get back on track. And now I'm back on track. So it's 6 days a week. Adam wrote me my meal plan. I even told him what I was going through. I'm like, we got to change things up. And he did. And I'm like, all right, now we're ready. He goes, all right, we're back up to 6 days.
Hell yeah.
Here's your workout plan. Here's your meal plan. Let's go. And I said, all right, let's go. So I'm back on. My cheat days are not maybe once every 3 months or so, but my cheat day is sushi.
Yeah.
I mean, I will go out and it's an all-you-can-eat sushi. I mean, don't get me wrong. I go to town. I go to town on sushi night, but it's kind of cool to say, hey, my cheat night, I'm going to have sushi. I'm going to have something else that's healthy.
Yeah.
It's not ordering a large pizza and a bag of chips and then waking up sick, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, just
I don't
even
feel that.
sound.
It
even,
sounds so gross.
Yeah.
But it was my go-to. Like I just didn't matter. That's where I felt in control. That's where I felt content. That's where I felt happy. Food was my reward. And what this taught me was food is my fuel,
Right.
not my reward. So even that's where sometimes I don't look at cheat days because I don't want, again, food to be my reward.
Right.
But I want to be able to take that break and say, hey, you're good. Let's celebrate. Go have whatever you want, still in a healthy manner.
Right.
Yeah.
But enjoy it and then continue on moving
Well,
forward.
and it's like I think what you said about the carb cycling. It's like it's a lot easier to say no to a burger or French fries when you know you get it in 2 days,
Right.
versus if you don't think
Exactly.
you're ever allowed to have it again.
Yeah, if you're never allowed to have it again, that's all you can think about, right?
Right.
But if
The
you're like,
the
"Ah,
odds
it's
of
a
you
couple days,"
not eating it are much lower if you're never allowed to have it again,
Right.
versus if you know that you can just put it off for
exactly
24 more hours.
I do want to mention too. I mentioned getting off plan, whatever. But most days, right? I am measuring, and I've not skipped a gym day. So yes, I'm going off plan, but like for a meal.
Yeah.
Like so. Yes, you have to be consistent. You can't just be like, oh, well, Vishra doesn't work because you're not staying consistent,
Yeah.
So I wanted to reiterate that about me. When I give myself that grace, because I don't like saying cheat meals. I feel like that's setting yourself up for failure to think, oh, I'm cheating,
Refeed.
like, yeah, or like a reset button,
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna get.
Well, because it can
this time.
kickstart your metabolism when
To
you
change it
are
up.
hitting a weight loss plateau. So they can be useful, but you can do that in healthier ways or unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, but just the consistency is important.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, I was consistent for a little while and now I don't have to be, because that's how
Right.
you gain it back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think the fact that you're eating, I feel like you're eating more, but you're eating more consistent. So I think what helped a lot with my cravings, even when I was 100% and not even cheating, nothing, eating 6 times a day, really I was never hungry. And that's what I let people know is really the trick, right? I'm never hungry. So I'm not craving any of that garbage food because I really saw myself before.
you got another meal coming up pretty soon.
Absolutely.
And
I
you
was
just
like, I got to
ate.
eat again.
Yeah.
And I'm never hungry.
Yeah.
My weakness was chocolate. And I remember the kids, Cadbury mini eggs are made by the devil. And I thought that was my weakness. And Ethan still has a story that
So
I ate half
Reese's
his
peanut
bag
butter
and he'll
cups.
never,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Those are my
Oh my
weakness.
God.
But for the 3, for those 3 years before even, when I lost all my weight, I remember the first time that I still bought them, their mini Cadbury eggs. They're like, Dad, I go, just let me smell them. And then after
Smell it.
I smelled them, I go,
My
yeah, they
kids
still
passed all
smell
their
good.
peanut butter cups over to me from their Halloween
Halloween.
bags, and I'm just like,
That's my number
please
one
no.
week. That's
Oh
my
my
number one
gosh.
weakness.
They're like,
Peanut butter
Mom, look at all these we got for you. I'm like, I just
That's
buttoned
so
my
hard.
pants. Like,
yeah,
stop.
that's so hard for me when my kids are like, "We got you a treat. We know that you like this." And for me, at that time I say thank you and I'll
Right.
take a bite.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not gonna be like,
Don't
"No,
kill
how
their-
dare you?"
right, right.
Yeah, like my poor
Reward
children.
their nice gesture.
Yeah. So but they are more aware now. They're like, and Dad helps them, right? It's like Mom might not want treats. What else does Mom like?
Yeah.
Mom loves it when you make something for her. Let's
Yeah.
go make something. So Little things like that.
My thing was water. Like once I was drinking, and like I would aim to drink half of my weight in ounces of water, which was like such a task. But honestly, once I got used to that, like I don't really get super hungry anymore. Like I think I ate half of like a lettuce taco, and I'm good. Like I don't know. It was weird because I didn't really have any tips aside from just the water, and it feels like everything just kind of like reset itself because I'm not like craving stuff. But now if I did eat a peanut butter cup, then I'm eating all of the peanut butter cups.
Yeah. Right.
So I have to just like stay away from it. But other than that, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. For me, the water was a big thing too. I
would get frustrated just having to be in the bathroom all the time. I'm like, I can't leave my clients to like go. You know what I mean?
True.
So then I was like, I don't want to do this. And I'm like, but I need to do this.
Yeah.
So,
but that hydration definitely was a huge thing that I don't think enough people realize is a big part of the health program.
Well, I was noticing the difference in my face too. And then I was like, yeah, I looked like a hag. So like, yeah, just that alone.
Just the hydration in your skin. Yeah. Water for me was another big thing. The other thing was making sure that even if I was working out every day, still getting that 7,000 step count, at least 7,000 steps in a day. So that would make me also be able to go out and just walk. So, have some time to myself, just walk.
Yeah.
So that helps not only just with physical health, but my mental health as well.
Yeah.
So the walking and the hydration, those were my big things. And now if people ask me, what would you do if you've not done anything? Those are my first, and then sleep, consistent sleep.
Oh, yeah. So I actually knew this guy who was losing weight, and he would hide jars of gummy bears around his house. So if he had a craving, you need a gummy bear. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
I feel like that's dangerous.
That can be very dangerous.
I know.
What if it was Reese's cups?
If I got Reese cups sitting all around the house.
Work, but I don't know. He's like, it's low
like
calorie.
in bed.
I'm like, I don't know. I know, right? You just wake up in the middle of the night.
I think I have a craving. Let's get that jar.
I don't know. I don't think it was a good idea. It was just weird and random. So I have no idea.
Build some resilience, I guess.
I suppose.
I don't know.
I see nothing
eat it.
satisfying about gummy bears. So
yeah, I'm not a
really
big gummy bear person.
Your stress relief that you talked about is huge because I think another trigger for me was food was kind of my stress relief when I got home at night from work, from the day, from my mental state, right?
Yeah.
Where I was able to see now replacing that with exercise.
Yeah.
Did the same exact thing. I had the same result, but in a much healthier manner.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, anything else you guys want to add? Any tips, any takeaways, anything we didn't cover that you guys wanted to?
No. I just really am appreciative of the opportunity that you gave us all to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much.
We were talking about the imposter syndrome that we were both like, why did they choose us? We have no idea. I knew
you guys have
Conrad's
awesome
story.
stories. You guys' transformations are incredible.
Thanks. But I think being here and having this also to be able to say, look at this that we did and that we can help inspire other people. I think that that's important. And if others listening have an opportunity, and it doesn't have to be about weight loss or weight gains or anything, it could
about something you want to accomplish.
Yeah. If you have something that you can help other people with, go help other people. Help people. Let's help people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Had a good time. If you guys want to check out any of our coaching or any of our programs, there should be links somewhere around. Check those out. But we will see you guys in the next episode. But before we wrap up, if anybody out there is looking for some extra help with getting back on track and trying to lose weight or achieving whatever your fitness goals are, we do have certified personal trainers, certified coaches who are available and eager to create a customized plan for you based on your body. And our trainers have already helped hundreds of thousands of men and women to lose weight, tone up, build strength, get healthier, feel better, look better. And we're ready to work with you as well. And this is something where we'll figure out everything for you. We'll do all the calculations, figure out all the macros, the calories, what foods to eat, what foods to avoid, when to work out, what those workouts look like. And so if you guys want to get more details on that, just check out the link in the description below. I know you will absolutely love it. But thank you again for tuning in today, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of V-Shred's Better Body, Better Life podcast. Whether you're doing one of our programs, taking our supplements, or just doing things on your own, tune in every week for exclusive content with Vince, V-Shred trainers, and special guests as they share valuable tips around motivation, workouts, food, and living a healthier lifestyle. See you next time.